Good evening. I call this regular school board meeting to order. It's March 19th, 2019, 6 p.m. and call this meeting to order. Dr. Salazar, Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Garza, members of the board, this evening we have students here to help lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Here to introduce us to our students is Principal of Las Yescas Elementary, Ms. Lynn Martinez. Mrs. Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Garza, members of the school board, and Dr. Salazar. Thank you for having me here today to honor two outstanding students from Las Yescas Elementary. First, I'd like to introduce you to Jesus Rivera Jr. Jesus Rivera Jr. is a student in Ms. Rubio's first grade class. He is the son of Jesus and Hilda Rivera. Jesus demonstrates excellent behavior and is always focused and eager to learn. He is an A honor roll student who always puts his best efforts towards learning. He has a passion for reading. As a result, he has read over 85 books this year. Jesus displays good citizenship by showing respect, having a good attitude, and helping his peers. Furthermore, he is an enthusiastic student who participates in many school functions and programs. Jesus Rivera's cheerful, hardworking, and courteous disposition makes him a very special student at Las Yescas Elementary. Saul Riton Jr. is a student in Ms. Salazar's second grade class. Saul is the son of Saul and Nelly Luiton. This Longhorn scholar exhibits initiative and a growth mindset set by excelling academics and taking an active role in extracurricular activities. Saul is an award-winning chess player in the LYE chess team and makes known his creativity through original designs in robotics. In Imagine Math, he is ranked first place in his class and for the campus. Saul enjoys playing soccer, spending time with his family, and caring for his canine pets, Canas, Lucas, and his favorite of all, Cooper. His favorite subjects are reading and math. Saul Jr. exemplifies the values and dedication which fuels the lightning of Las Yescas Elementary.
Here to introduce us to our middle school students from Resaca Middle School is Mr. Escareño, Assistant Principal at Resaca.
Good evening, Mr. Garza, members of the board, Dr. Salazar. Today I have the privilege to introduce to you two exceptional young ladies who, through their hard work and commitment, have truly captured what being a Falcon is all about. The first student I have the honor to present to you is Savannah Torres. Savannah is an 8th grade student who is the daughter of Michelle Ibarra and two incredibly supportive grandparents. She's an honor roll student who has also been a top 5 ranked student throughout her years in middle school. She's a member of the National Junior Honor Society and wants to attend an Ivy League university after graduation. She loves music, history, and psychology and plans to study all these subjects while attending college. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce to you another 8th grade student, Andrea Calvillo. Andrea is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Cesar Calvillo. She's an outstanding honor roll student who has excelled academically throughout elementary and middle school and is eager to continue the same success at Los Fresnos United and high school. She's a member of the National Junior Honor Society and is also highly involved in our athletic program. She's part of our volleyball team and part of our district champion soccer team. After graduation, she wants to attend a university to pursue a career as a neonatal nurse. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, these students are here to lead us in the pledge. Will everyone please rise and remove all headgear for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Will the parents of these students please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Mr. Trevino, roll call, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Garza. Mr. Leonel Garza,
Present.
Ms. Sandra Garcia.
Present.
I am here, Mr. Ruben Trevino, Mr. Martin Castillo.
Present.
Mr. Ray Farias is not with us tonight, he's out of town. Mr. Jesus Amaya,
Present.
Ms. Leticia Quintero,
Present.
Dr. Gonzalo Salazar,
Present.
Ms. Elizabeth Neely.
Item 5, district recognitions. Dr. Salazar.
Mr. Garza, members of the board, each month we set time aside during our meetings to recognize the achievement of our students. And this evening, I'd like to call on Ms. Nisi Garza to introduce us to the first student.
Mr. Garza, members of the board, Dr. Salazar. My name is Anise Garza, and I'm the proud principal of Liberty Memorial Middle School. I'm honored to be standing before you this evening, along with our spelling bee coach, Ms. Sabrina Ochoa, to introduce to you Ms. Sydney Jo Peña. Ms. Sydney Jo Peña is the LFCISD District Spelling Bee Champ and Regional Spelling Bee Qualifier. Sydney Jo is the daughter of Raquel and Gabe Peña, and she is a 7th grade student at Liberty Memorial Middle School. She's being recognized here today for her outstanding performance at the Regional Spelling Bee, which was held in Weslaco, Texas. Sydney placed 3rd out of 51 spellers, and our faculty and staff couldn't be prouder. Please know that Sydney not only exceeds as an outstanding speller, but she is an outstanding student. As a 6th grader, which not many students do, she was ranked and state recognized for volunteering to take the PSAT. She was ranked as the #1 student in 6th grade. And then in 7th grade, she surpassed her scores as a 7th grader and is now being state recognized for her SAT scores as well. Sydney not only competes academically, such as UIL, she's a part of the National Junior Honor Society, but she's also a student athlete, where she plays volleyball and soccer. Liberty is very proud of Sydney and of all of her accomplishments, and we look forward to what the future holds for her. I give you Sydney Jo Peña. Ms. Ochoa will present a plaque which reads, "To Sydney, the Board of Trustees and the District Administration are proud to recognize Sydney Jo Peña for her outstanding performance in the 2019 District and Regional Spelling Bees, Liberty Memorial Middle School, March 2019.
Mr. Garza and members of the board, if you give a student a world-class problem and the resources they need, they will come up with a world-class solution. Several years ago, Los Fresnos CISD revised its district board-adopted goals and set an entirely new level of expectation for our students. Our learning community made a commitment then to go beyond state and federal accountability standards, convinced that our students would rise to our level of expectations. We want to thank each of you this evening for continually communicating high expectations. We also want to thank you for your support, the support that you have shown for the advancement of the arts, extracurricular, co-curricular, and most importantly, our academic programs. Los Fresnos has long been synonymous with excellence, and while we begin each academic year humbled by the enormity of the task, we do take pride in the achievement of our students. Tonight, we set time aside to celebrate the success of an academic program that has allowed us to improve teaching and learning in science, technology, engineering, and math. It gives me great pleasure to announce today that all 9 of our elementary campuses have been recognized as a Project Lead the Way Distinguished School, a recognition that is awarded to schools that are providing broad access to transformational learning opportunities for students. This means we can be very proud of the meaningful learning experiences we are providing all students at a critical time when they are setting a vision for their goals and their future. Vince Bertram, President and CEO of PLTW, a nonprofit organization that sets out to improve teaching and learning in the area of STEM, said the following: "These schools are a model for what schools should look like, and they should be proud of ensuring students. They should be proud, for they are ensuring that students have the knowledge and skills to be career ready and successful in any career pathway that they choose." The recognition is a validation of the efforts of staff who are committed to excellence and continuous improvement. It is appropriate in our public schools to celebrate the success of our students, to celebrate the achievement of our students, and with that, the work that our teachers do. It is also appropriate to celebrate the leadership of the individuals that lead our schools. And we're going to get to that in a minute as we recognize our principals. It is also fitting to take a moment to recognize the staff members that created the what-if moment, that what-if moment in which good things happen in our school district. PLTW began in Los Fresnos in 1617, specifically through the elementary launch. In the 1617 school year, we began with 1 module. Today, students are exposed to as many as 3 and 4 modules per grade level. All K through 5 students participate in launch modules, and they are taught by classroom teachers and coding lab teachers. This means that they are exposed to as many as 10 hours of instruction in the STEM areas, in project-based learning and meaningful learning experiences. Because of that what-if moment, was brought to us by Mrs. Laundrie, I'm going to ask you to come up here, Valerie. I remember the day that Mrs. Laundrie came to see me about this initiative, and she said, what if we were able to go beyond state and federal accountability? What if we were able to fund this program through this funding source? She came with an initiative, and she came with a plan, and then the hard work began. I have to admit that I was a little nervous about how we were going to pull this off, but the vision was so solid we could only get behind it, and I'm very proud of the opportunities that we are affording our students, and I commend Mrs. Laundrie for having that vision. She'll tell you about several other staff members, but right now I want to award this plaque. The Board of Trustees and District Administration are proud to recognize Mrs. Valerie Laundrie for working collaboratively with staff to provide meaningful learning experiences for the children of our community. So I'll step away from the lectern now and leave the professional to tell you the rest of it.
Mr. Garza, members of the board, and Dr. Salazar, it's my absolute honor and my job to come up with ideas in order to help improve the educational experiences of students, as that is our mission. And so I'd like to say thank you to all of you for supporting those visions that we have to take education to that next level. And because we do really well with the things we have to do, the things the state requires us to do. We have the opportunities to go beyond that, and I just feel honored and privileged to be able to work with amazing teams of people that have great ideas about giving kids every opportunity that we can as a school district to make sure that the world is open to them when they leave Los Fresnos one day. And this has been one of those opportunities. And this is just another example of an outside entity, a worldwide organization that is recognizing the amazing work that is being done in Los Fresnos. And so to become a Launch Distinguished School, this is the second year that the award has been given out. We are one of 14 schools in the state of Texas that has received those awards. And I say one of 14, but really we're 9 of the 14 schools in the state of Texas that have been recognized with this award. We were very fortunate to join Launch. PLTW is an organization that's been around a long time at the high school level, providing computer science and engineering education, and now biomedical science education. And in 2016, 2017, we literally jumped in with both feet, and we did a K through 12 adoption. So we offer Project Lead the Way from kindergarten through the 12th grade at this point. By the time students get to middle school, it is an elective choice for them, and in high school, it is our pathway for our cybersecurity computer science pathway, as well as for our engineering pathway. We are also now offering, this is our first year, to be able to offer classes in biomedical science as we continue to build upon our health science pathways. So we're very excited about that and look forward to one day being recognized as Project Lead the Way high schools and middle schools. But today, we are here to honor our elementary schools. Our elementary schools made a commitment in the spring of 2016. They took a look at a couple of videos on coding, and I think it was the little girl who said not learning coding for her was like not learning how to read. And it is a universal language, and it is one that all of our students should be able to speak. And Los Fresnos as a district has committed to ensuring that our students are prepared for the opportunities of the future, because coding touches just about everything in our lives. And we are offering opportunities through our Coding Lab initiatives and through our Project Lead the Way, where students have opportunities to build their skills in collaboration, communication, problem solving, and creative thinking. Within each of their modules, which covers engineering, computer science, and biomedical science, they are given real-world problems that they have to solve. For example, our kindergarten students started off with the problem that one of the characters fell off the playground and broke her arm. Their ultimate problem was to solve for a cast. They had to build a cast that was both water resistant, stable, and would last the student throughout the duration of the needed time. And we had kindergartners solving that problem with feathers and cotton balls and bubble wrap and saran wrap, and they talked about that problem into first grade because they were so pleased that the character did not have a broken arm when they got to first grade. So our students are learning about real-world problems, and they're solving it in fun ways, and each of those modules represents about 10 hours of instructional time. So our students are now at 3 or 4 modules per grade level that are fully integrating STEM, where we can be proud of the fact that we can say our elementaries truly are STEM elementaries. We are integrating this curriculum into our science, and that would not have been possible without someone in our curriculum department, which I would like to call up Holly Maldonado at this time. Holly is our elementary science strategist, and Ms. Garza at the time was our science coordinator. And Holly, come on up here. So we don't get an opportunity very often to recognize our staff in front of the board, but this is a well-deserved recognition. Holly Maldonado, when we brought forward the curriculum and said, this is going to be amazing, and I can be a little bit loud and a little bit passionate if you know me. So I was already sold, and this is what was going to happen. And Holly was like, but you're going to take some of my science time. And we have to make sure kids get science. And she delved into the work, and she checked every TEK, and she made sure that this was going to support our overall academic goals in the area of science, because that's her job, making sure we take care of science. And she came back and she said, okay, I think this can work. But not only did she say, I think this can work, she said, I'm going to make sure it works, and I'm going to do that by taking this on as my pet project. She has since trained hundreds of teachers, because every teacher that teaches the curriculum has to receive 2 days of training, 16 hours of training. So every year she is onboarding new teachers. Even during the middle of the school year, she has to get them ready because we teach modules all year long. She arranges for all of the materials that we order, for all of the schedules of the 6 different grade levels at elementary. She makes sure it all works, and she makes sure our science scores are still taken care of. And she does it with such passion and with such love that it's not my baby, it's Holly's baby. So Holly, thank you for all that you do. And so with that, I have a plaque for you that says the Board of Trustees and District Administration are proud to recognize Ms. Holly Maldonado for working collaboratively with staff to provide meaningful learning experiences for the children of our community. Congratulations. This award is much yours as it is anyone else's. As we all know, though, it doesn't matter how much passion we have in the main office. Initiatives live and die on a principal's desk. And it took our principals getting behind this initiative, supporting their teachers, because the work is not easy. It challenged our teachers. They said, what are we doing with these modules? How can we give over so much control to the students? But it taught us to be facilitators of learning, not directors of it, because the students exceeded our every expectation when we put these problems out in front of them, and we were amazed by their accomplishments. And the principals are the ones who continue to make sure that this goes on year in and year out. And so at this time, I'd like to ask for our principals to come in and be recognized. They're going to be given a banner today from the school district. They will also receive a banner from PLCW that's in the mail to recognize them for their distinguished school status. But at this time, I would ask Lynn Martinez, principal from Las Yescas Elementary, Janet Santa Ana, assistant principal at Laurelis Elementary, Celia Ontiveros, principal at Palmer Loxaw Elementary, Oscar De La Rosa, principal at Lopez Riggins Elementary, Rosemary Leal, principal at Los Fresnos Elementary, Linda Rodriguez, principal at Olmito Elementary, Paul Leal, principal at Villarreal Elementary, Daniel Garcia, assistant principal at Rancho Verde Elementary, and Veronica Grimaldo, principal of Dora Romero Elementary. Can we give them a round of applause for their leadership and their vision on their campuses? in a little bit lower. There you go. Principals, congratulations for your campuses. Please convey our congratulations to your teachers for the hard work that they do, and we look forward to winning these recognitions again next year.
At this time, I'll call on our athletic director, Mr. Patrick Brown, to tell us about some successful athletic programs.
Wow, you had to put me after that. Mr. President, board members, Dr. Salazar, I'm Patrick Brown, the very, very proud athletic director from Los Fresnos CISD, and tonight I want to honor 4 of our teams that have done really amazing things. In these teams, you'll see regional qualifiers, regional champions, state qualifiers, district champions, but most of all, you'll see amazing kids that work hard not only in the classroom but in the community. And I'm very proud to be a very small, and I emphasize small part of that. I think we have amazing coaches on our staff, and more importantly, we have amazing kids. And so what I'd like to do next is introduce our girls' head basketball coach, Coach Valdez.
Good evening, Mr. Garza, members of the board, Dr. Salazar. My name is Rebecca Valdez, and I have the pleasure of coaching our girls basketball team. So I'm going to start out by introducing my first assistant, Lindsay Equus. Followed by, this is my manager, Cindy. She's my right-hand man. Freshman, number 23, Victoria Altamirano. Freshman, number 24, Sarai Jones. Sophomore, number 15, Victoria Hernandez. Junior, number 2, Clarissa Esquivel. Junior, number 10, Giovanna Godoy. She was also all-district honorable mention. Number 14, Jasmine Garcia. She had to leave due to driver's ed, but she was second-team all-district. Junior, number 22, Ari Gallardo. She was my 32 6A Offensive Player of the Year, All-Valley Offensive Team, First-Team All-Valley, and RGV All-Star. She had to leave, too, for driver's ed. Senior, number 11, Veronica Atkinson. Senior, number 13, Dominique Clemens. She was second-team All-District and RGV CBA Senior All-Star. Senior, number 2, Lorna Camarillo. She was first-team All-District and Senior All-Star as well. And my captain, senior, number 5, Giovanna Adames. She was a 32 6A Defensive Player of the Team. She was a Defensive All-Valley Team, First-Team All-Valley, and RGV Senior All-Star Team. These are your 2018-2019 Los Fresnos Lady Falcons. We as a team would like to thank the community, the Los Fresnos Falcon family, Coach Brown, and everything for your support throughout the season. We look forward to an eventful year next year with our babies, and I know that we're going to really miss the senior group. So I just want to tell the girls I'm so proud of you. Thank you, and I'm just super proud to be a Falcon. Thank you.
Will the parents of these athletes please stand and be recognized?
Next, I'd like to introduce our head boys basketball coach, Coach Hinojosa.
Good evening, Mr. Garza, members of the board, Dr. Salazar. I want to start off by introducing my assistant coach. Coaches, these guys have been a huge reason for our success. They bring the work ethic and commitment that is needed in any program. My first assistant, Coach Alex Lucio. By the way, Alex just had a baby boy during spring break, so congratulations on that. This ain't it though, okay? If not, he'd be 7 feet. And Kike wasn't able to make it. He's got track practice, but he's another one of my assistant coaches, great coach. When the season started, they didn't have us projected to win another title. With us graduating a huge senior class last year, and with only two returning players that didn't even play much, they counted us out. They counted us out. We heard lots of negative noise from all over. We heard things like, "Are you guys going to be any good this year? Oh, your run is over now. What are you going to do?" And we heard it. They heard it, and it's all good. All that noise did was add more fuel to the fire. Okay, and it's just getting me fired up already. The guys knew we were being counted out. We didn't win with two guys. We didn't even win JV last year. And like I told them, I'm going to be very honest, as an outsider, I'd have counted you out as well. But we knew what we had. Well, we put in the work that was needed. I knew what we had. They knew what they had, and they knew what they could do. These guys got out there in the weight room and during the off season. They sacrificed 6 weeks of their summer coming in and getting after it to get better in the gym. They sacrificed weekends to play summer tournaments. With all that being said, what can I say? The players that I have had the privilege to coach have been amazing. I would take a line from Coach Popovich from the Spurs and say I have a bunch of guys that have gone over themselves. These guys don't have huge egos. I have a bunch of guys at the end of the day that do what I tell them what to do. Us coaches, they listen to us and they do everything we ask them to do, and we're just so proud of these guys. We didn't have a superstar this year. We had a team. They had the we over me mentality. I know I tweeted that out a lot because it is what it is. We had that mentality. That's what made this group special. They played team basketball. And honestly, I've never been more proud of a team. I know we've talked as coaches, and I've talked to Coach Brown, and we've never been more proud of a team than this team. I've gotten just a lot of satisfaction with this group. Never have I gotten that much satisfaction with a team than with this team. They overcame so much adversity. And thank you guys. I know 3 seniors, we're going to miss you guys. Heck of a year. I also want to take a minute to thank Coach Brown for all he's done for us. He's another reason we've been so successful. He's not only your coach, but he's also an AD. He's helped us by talking to our kids and encouraging them whenever possible. He's brought us in and turned us into family. We were stepchilds before. I'm joking. Just inside joke. We got his coaches. But he's brought us in, and we're doing off-season with them, and that's really helped us out in the weight room and getting stronger, among other things. But he's a big reason. And, Coach, thank you very much. Well, at the end of the day, again, guys, just so proud of you guys. So proud. You guys know that already. I think I've told you that a million times. Here are the members of the 2018-2019 5-time district and by-district champions. Sophomore wasn't able to play this year because he had a tore ACL. We're hoping he can get healthy quick and help us out next year. He's going to be a big piece to our puzzle. Carlos Hernandez. Junior, first year on the varsity, Cameron Rivera. Junior, first year on the varsity also, Angel Vega. Senior, first year on the varsity, Nathan Lara. Junior, first year on the varsity, selected 32-6-8 honorable mention, Luis Gonzalez. Junior, first year on the varsity, selected 32-6A honorable mention, Tony Aldriguetti. Senior, first year on the varsity, selected 32-6A honorable mention, Danny Ramirez. I got a story for this guy. Freshman year, comes from PE. He's about 4 foot tall, I want to say. And he goes, "Coach, can I play basketball?" And I said, "Can you? I don't know, can you?" And he goes, "I think so." I said, "You know what, you're on the team then, son." So, love this kid to death. Took a year off last year for X reason. Asked to come back, and I said, absolutely. Never disrespected the program, the coaches, the players. Maybe just needed a year off, but that's his story, though. The 4 foot kid coming in asking me if he could play. He was selected second team all district and was also selected to participate in the senior all-star game on Sunday, April 14th at 4:30. Tyler Alvarez. Junior, first year on the varsity, selected 32-6A first team all district unanimous. He was also selected second team all valley and will be participating in the Rio Grande Valley Viper Showcase game this Saturday at the Bert Ogden Arena at 3 p.m. Ricky Altamirano. This next guy right here, I'm so proud of. He waited his turn, played freshman basketball, then played JV, and he sat on the bench. These are our two next guys that were returning. Sat on the bench last year, but he learned from the seniors that we had last year, and Gabe, Randall, and Jordan. He was a student of the game. So proud of him. Never complained. Just was a student, and this year he was a big piece to our puzzle. He was unanimously selected 32-6A defensive MVP. He was selected to the All Valley defensive team. This is a whole valley. Selected to the second team All Valley team, and will also participate along with Tyler in the senior all-star game Sunday, April 14th at 4:30. Sebastian Speck. Last but not least, junior, second year on the varsity, selected 32-6A most valuable player. He was also selected first team All Valley. He was also selected to the All Region team in Region 4, and will also participate with Ricky in the Rio Grande Valley Viper Showcase game this Saturday at the Bert Ogden Arena at 3 p.m. Ilean Gonzalez. That's your 2018-2019 boys varsity basketball team. Elian.
Will the parents of these athletes please stand and be recognized?
Sir.
Mr. Castillo?
I just wanted to say that these boys, when we went to Alice, I went out there to watch them and support them. They left it all on the court, and that's what it's about. True heart, true grit, never gave up. No matter, the score didn't tell the whole story. I'm proud of you guys. You guys make us proud. Thank you.
I think both those programs are the epitome of what we are in Los Fresnos, which is people underestimating us and us having success despite their expectations of us. Our next program is a baby in its own right, but it has really done an amazing job as a coach. Proud to say a former player of mine, and I think he's going to take this program to the state level where people are going to fear us when we walk in and get on the mat with them. Coach Wynn.
Mr. Salazar, Mr. Garcia, sorry, Mr. Garza, members of the board, and Dr. Salazar. My name is Kevin Nguyen, and overall, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to be here. And with my kids, I mean, I'm very proud of all they've accomplished this year. They are very hardworking. They give their all every day at practice, every tournament. I mean, day in, day out. I'm talking about kids having to watch their weight on a daily basis, then showing up, practicing for hours, and still giving it their all, and then making sure that they're on weight the morning of. I mean, for those that aren't familiar with wrestling, you get 1 or 2 chances to weigh in, and that's it. So these kids, I mean, we check their weight on a daily basis, and they stay very disciplined in terms of watching their weight to make sure they're on weight. And then just to be at the tournaments and to show up and compete the way that they do with everything against them. And everyone knows that they're a second and third year program, so a lot of people do underestimate them, and they come in and they give their all. And I'm so proud of every single one of these kids. And at the end of the day, our girls team finished 4th at districts, 7th at regionals, and our guys team brought home a district championship. And I'm not sure their ranking at regionals, but they competed, and we took 14 guys to regionals, basically the whole team. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mayeli Chavez. She is a district runner-up, 5th place finish at regionals, and a state alternate. Next up is Estelle Paredes. She is a district runner-up, took 5th place at regionals, and is also a state alternate. Next up is Nicole Lopez. She took 5th at districts and is a regional alternate. Next up is Thiago Almeida. He took 2nd as districts and is a regional qualifier. Next I have Eddie Castellanos. He is a district runner-up and a regional qualifier. Next up I have Roman Rodriguez. He's a district champion, 5th place at regionals, and is a state alternate. Next up I have Daniel Cadango. He finished 3rd at districts and is a regional qualifier. Next I have Mario Salas. He took 3rd at districts and is a regional qualifier. Next I have Noah Trevino. He finished 5th at districts and is a regional alternate. Finally I have Eddie Gavassos. He is a district runner-up and is a regional qualifier.
Will the parents of these athletes please stand and be recognized?
Don't let those smiles and pretty faces fool you. When they get you on the mat, they are brutal. Last but certainly not least, one of the most dominant programs in the Valley. Certainly has a group of kids that works as hard as any of our athletic programs in the pool for hours and hours. Very proud to introduce Coach Pettis, our swim coach.
Good evening, Mr. Garza, board members, and Dr. Salazar. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here to present our swimming team. It's just been 2 years since we've opened up our new aquatic center, and I want you to know that you'll see that our team has gone from 30 members to 60 members. I think that deserves a little round of applause. I'd like to start by thanking our administrative team. They're our fearless leaders, Coach Brown, Coach Foster, and Mr. and Mrs. Stambaugh. They're the ones at front, and they're the ones that make everything happen. So we thank you for their support. I'd also, yes, round of applause. At this time, I would like all of our swim and dive parents to please stand up. They're the ones that have to wake up early to bring our kids to practice, so thank you for your support and sacrifice. At this time, I'd also like to thank our assistant coach, Eric Amador. Please join me in giving her a round of applause. We had an outstanding swim season this year. I remember being here last year and telling you that our boys had 9 district titles in a row, and I said, no pressure. Well, I want you to know there was pressure, but we got it done. So our boys now have dominated for a decade as they won their 10th boys district title. And our girls defended their district title and then made a bigger statement by earning a regional championship. And let me tell you something, those are really hard to come by, so we're extremely excited about that accomplishment as well. We also qualified 9 swimmers to state. And everybody, congratulates us, and I tell them, hey, we're not done, because right now we're currently working with our water polo team, which has really picked off. Alamo Heights is going to be joining us here on the 30th in one of our tournaments, and we're excited. And so I tell people, thank you for the congratulations, but it's not over. Tomorrow is a big day, going back to our aquatic center, because we're starting our pilot second grade program with LFE. Today I went to go see the kids, and they're excited. And you can even ask them, what kind of swimmers are you going to be? And they're going to tell you, smart swimmers. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce these champions, starting with Jada Davila, backstroker and freestyler. Marilyn Blanco, individual medley and butterflyer. Desiree Gutierrez, sprinter and water polo goalie. Susan Ramirez, breaststroker, one of our seniors. Jocelyn Blanco, water polo. She scored 4 goals in our last tournament. Angela Loera, breaststroke and water polo. Alyssa Chavez, long distance and regional qualifier. Rain Garcia, backstroke, regional qualifier. Karen Waters, diver, second team all-region. Callie Sainz, IMer, butterflyer, and also second team all-region. Maria Jimena Trevino, regional qualifier and member of our all-star team. Rihanna Apacible? I'm sorry. This is why I stumbled, because she's all-star team, all-valley team, second team all-region, and our new breaststroke record holder. Rihanna Apacible. Rebecca Osuna, all-star team, first team all-region and state qualifier. Emily Rodriguez, all-star team, first team all-region and state qualifier. Maria Manangas, all-valley team, all-star team, first team all-region and state qualifier. and that is our girls team. And now come our boys. We have, would you like the girls? Okay, awesome. And that is the 2018-2019 district and regional champions. Okay. Now for the boys, starting off with Sebastian Moreno, IMer and butterflyer. Luis Izaguirre, backstroke and water polo goalie. Fernando Ramirez, sprinter and water polo. Ethan Maciel, diver. Jaden Cruz, sprinter and water polo. And today is a very special day for our next swimmer, as Dominic Hernandez. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, son. Breaststroker and water polo. Bonoso Santibáñez, long distance swimmer and water polo. Bobby Zamora, diver, water polo specialist. Tranquilino Salazar, IMer and butterfly and water polo. Julio Serna, breaststroker, a.k.a. Michael Phelps. Efraín Mascorro, sprinter and water polo. Garrett Callison, diver, regional qualifier. Magnum Callison, diver, regional qualifier. Tony Martinez, regional qualifier. Ernesto Trevino, regional qualifier. Nathaniel Braun, regional qualifier. Matthew Vasquez, all regional honorable mention, breaststroker. Evan Garcia, first team all region state qualifier. Jonathan Hernandez, first team all region state qualifier. Robert Waters, let me catch my breath. All Valley team, all-star team, first team all region, and our new backstroke record holder and state qualifier. And last is Luis, the Golden Boy Osuna. All Valley team, all-star team, first team all region, RGVSCA $500 scholarship recipient, and new 100 freestyle and 200 IM record holder and state qualifier. Luis Osuna.
Congratulations to the swim team, boys and girls. They did an awesome job. I went to go watch them in Brownsville at the regional meet. They did awesome. Swam their hearts out. And regionals couldn't make it, but I'm sure very proud. Congratulations to y'all.
Okay, item 6, presentation, update on 2018 election, Cameron County Election Administrator, Dr. Salazar.
Garza and members of the board, there's an item on the agenda tonight in connection with our last election, and we accepted the offer from Mr. Remy Garza to come by tonight's meeting and to give us an explanation and share some information about the last election. Mr. Garza, welcome to Los Fresnos, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garza, board members, Dr. Salazar, to go through the litany. When I got the email from Mr. Young, I had a flashback to high school of hearing my name over the intercom saying, Remy Garza, please report to the principal's office. Only this time it was much greater. Please report to the Board of Trustees office. We had an incredibly exceptional election in 2018. I think when we think back over it, if you can't think of, other than lines, something that went wrong, it was because of all the hard work that the poll workers and the people behind the scenes put into the process. Having to deal with such an extraordinary number of voters in what's considered to be an off year. We had a normal Cameron County presidential turnout in the off year. We had some delays, which I'm freely willing to admit, and we also had to do some SNAP personnel reassignments and additions to the process. And I think that's where you see such a significant difference in what was originally thought was going to be a normal off-year election when we put together the budget compared to what the actual cost of the overall cost at the end of the day. It is, in my mind, one of the most expensive elections that Cameron County has held, even taking into consideration the factor of the presidential 2016, which was the highest turnout Cameron County has ever had. And I mention the turnout because I think it's important to realize that when you look at 2015's invoice and when you compare it to 2018's invoice, there's some significant difference in the actual election because each one is so different. In 2015, which is the last time Cameron County conducted an election on y'all's behalf, we had 1,655 voters. In 2018, we had 7,191 that were being processed. Where we thought we were going to be able to employ roughly 52 employees, we had 73 poll workers that were having to work. And that doesn't even take into account the student clerks, that there were at least 2 at each of the polling sites that were working as well. So there's a significant shift in what we had thought was going to happen. And you may ask yourself, well, Remy, you're good enough as elections administrator. How did you not anticipate this back in August and July when we were doing, when we were putting together the figures? I don't want to blame any one single candidate, and certainly none who are on the ballot from the school district. But in September, a gentleman by the name of Beto O'Rourke decided that he was going to increase his social outreach platform. And suddenly it just started picking up, and we couldn't have anticipated that on the first day of early voting we were going to have a line at the Brownsville Library where we normally staff when we normally staff a much larger amount of poll workers, and there was a half-hour wait, which, you know, when you think of some of the other cities in the nation where you have people standing in line 4, 5, 6 hours, we're able to process our votes with the paper ballots very quickly because we ramp up, bringing in people and setting up additional voting booths. But I guess when you think, well, how does this impact us? Why does Los Fresnos have to share the burden with a large Senate campaign? Well, because of the November selection, the November election date that the school district has selected, you occasionally are going to find yourselves in link with this. And the major difference between a constitutional election, which is an off-year election, which we're going to have this year, is that you don't have true early voting, or at least you don't have, the number of polling locations. In 2015, there were 6 polling locations. I might be lying to you again, I'm sorry. we had 7 early voting locations throughout Cameron County. In 2018, there were 21. And because it's a countywide election, you're required to have your ballots at each one of those polling locations so that anybody who walks in from a given precinct can cast their ballot for every race they're eligible for at that location. So unfortunately, it forces you all to take a share of those costs when not only the locations increase, but also the hours increase as well. And I've talked to Mr. Young as to how we're going to try to address that for future elections, because it doesn't seem very equitable to the school district to do that. So hopefully in future contracts we will renegotiate how we distribute those particular costs, because even though there are voters who will vote at those outside locations, there's not very many. And so I think it's while you have to pick up the additional cost of the ballots, and for example, when you ordered originally, I don't think exactly, you ordered a total of 3,900 ballots in 2015. For 2018, because we had to distribute them throughout Cameron County at those locations, you ordered 21,756, which is a pretty significant number when you think of the overall district. So I'm prepared to answer any questions, and I'm very sorry that this is the first time I have to speak before the board, because we have enjoyed a very good relationship. Mr. Young and his staff and my staff have communicated very well. We have not had any election challenges, which I think is also a hallmark of a good election, and we have not had any recounts, which is, I think, another hallmark of a good election.
Questions from any board members? Ms. Garcia.
And I don't know if this is for Remy or if this is for David and Mr. Salazar, but what was, I mean, I know what the increase was. What was the total of the invoice?
It was just over $61,000.
And what was the total invoice on the one for 2015?
In 2015, the total costs, hold on.
Oh, I guess it went up 20 something. So yeah.
Yeah, it was actually it was 28,000 in 2015 was the overall cost. We had thought it was going to cost 41,000, adjusting for the off year with the governor's race versus a constitutional, but then the Senate race just took us into the $60,000 mark.
Mr. Garza. Mr. Garza, the reason it brought somewhat of concern.
Yes.
It went up to about 35% increase.
Right.
That's significant.
Yes.
And that's why we were going to go from 28 to 61,000. Well, that's more than 35. I thought we had budgeted 40,000.
Yeah, it was.
And so, and you also made a statement that early voting in 2015 was 7 early voting places, and then you jumped it to 21. Who determined that jump?
During the November elections, the Commissioner's Court is the ultimate decider in the sense of what polling locations during early voting are going to be selected. It's kind of a combination of the party chairs, the jurisdictions, making sure we have the right location with there. For example, while you all didn't absorb any of these costs, the Laguna Madre Water District asked us to include Laguna Vista as a polling location, an early voting location. So that was added. The school district in Brownsville asked us to extend some hours at a polling location, and so that was added at their expense, not y'all's. And there was one other school district, San Benito, asked that our high school be used as an early voting location, and so that was added. But ultimately, it's the Cameron County Commissioner's Court that decides and sets the locations because it's a countywide election.
And that causes it to be divided between the entities that have requested that.
Exactly. Your share represented approximately 5.8% of the overall cost of the election. For those costs that were divisible by all 10 entities that were running. And from the perspective of the overall cost of the election, for all entities, all costs accounted for, it was $664,000 was the overall bill. So you all represent approximately 10% of that overall cost, which with 10 entities isn't easy to bear, but it is, I think, reasonable.
And the cost is determined by the number of people that vote, or what? how does that percentage come?
The acquisition is based on the number of precincts that are located, that are each jurisdiction has. They're all added up together, and then each is prorated out their percentage.
By precincts only?
By precincts, yes.
And it is irrelevant as far as how many voted in those precincts?
Not when we're calculating the expense, because whether it's 1 or 100, it's still the entities that are responsible for opening that poll and having it properly staffed.
Well, the small school districts, let's say like Santa Maria, is that in the Cameron County district?
It is.
And I'm sure when they vote, they might have under 500, I would think. Do they have the same cost as Brownsville?
No, actually, their cost, given that they only have one precinct that they participate in, and their percentage is extremely small, I think their last bill was about $12,000 to $13,000 for their one precinct.
Anyone else have any questions? Sir, I would just want to thank you for, honoring us by coming here. We just had some, at least I did, I had some concerns about the cost and just wanted an explanation, and we're going to pay our part. Okay?
And I understand that, and it's an honor to be here in front of you all, because it is no small feat for you all to entrust us with your elections, and we take it very responsible. And if you think handing somebody or getting a bill for $60,000, try being the guy that has to sign it in and saying, "I'm sorry that this is the result." But like I said, each year we get better and we find ways to be more equitable. It's sad, unfortunately, that for some board members, probably not sad, that there haven't been competitive races in the district over the past couple of years, and so we haven't had the chance to get more engaged in how we find ways to create efficiencies for Los Fresnos CISD, which, by the way, congratulations on everything I just saw earlier at the beginning of this meeting. I've always known Los Fresnos School District to be outstanding and to be one of the greatest in Cameron County. Sorry, I'm a Greyhound at heart, so go Greyhounds. But
not here, sir. Not here.
You're in the wrong place doing that. Okay.
Security.
You don't want to get tarred and feathered here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop digging. But I've always known this district. I just was surprised, and I wish more people in Cameron County could sit and listen to the accomplishments of those young athletes and the students themselves.
Thank you for coming, sir, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Item 7, district reports. Dr. Salazar.
Mr. Garza, members of the board, we present to you the monthly reports, and at this time we would entertain any questions you have on items A through E.
Ms. Garcia.
I don't have a question. I just have a comment on how well our tax receipts are. 99.9%. That's good. That's good, right?
That's right.
Very good.
99.9% of budgeted funds. That's right.
Where's that 0.1% going over there? Anyone else questions on the reports? Thank you, Dr. Salazar. Moving on to item 8, public audience. At this time, we have one person has signed up, Ms. Sylvia Aguirre. Subject to be discussed is coaches and administration. Chief, please step up to the podium. The days, did I pronounce it right? Days? Before you start, ma'am, I have to read some stuff, please. Statement for introducing public comment. The board encourages comments from the citizens of the district or from district employees. Anyone wishing to speak, either as an individual or as a representative of a group, may do so at this time. The board asks that comments pertain to public education issues and be no longer than 5 minutes. Remember that the board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on our agenda for tonight's meeting. If an issue mentioned is listed on tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion until the appropriate time during the meeting. In addition, the board has adopted complaint policies that are designed to secure at the lowest administrative level a prompt and equitable resolution of complaints and concerns. Complaints brought by students or their parents may be heard in accordance with policies FNG Legal and FNG Local by employees in accordance with policies DGBA Legal and DGBA Local, and by citizens in accordance with policy GF Local. Each of these processes provides that if a resolution cannot be achieved administratively, the person may appeal the administrative decision to the board as a properly posted agenda item. Mr. Castillo, can you help us with the time? Ms. Aguirre, you have the floor.
Can you let me know when the time starts?
I'll let you know in 1 minute, when you have 1 minute left. Is that fine, or? Okay.
Will you do a countdown for me? I don't know when you're going to start. Sorry.
How do you want me to?
Oh, it starts when I start.
Yeah, when
oh,
you start
perfect.
speaking,
Thank you.
I'll give you the floor.
Okay.
And so forth. Okay.
Mr. Garza and members of the board, Dr. Salazar, as board members, you would not appreciate it if your children or grandchildren were verbally insulted by their coaches. And if you do agree with that, we do need to know that for the next election. If educators in the classroom are not allowed to insult their students, how can you continue to allow our athletes to endure this type of bullying from people in authority that are supposed to guide, teach, coach, and set an example? Los Fresnos CISD is identified as a district with high concentrations of students from low-income families. These students face enough adversity and do not need to be insulted, bullied, or discriminated at school. Yes, discriminated when students who are not children of administrators are reported to law enforcement for misconduct, but a coaching administrator is allowed to cover up his daughter's distribution of nudes, a possible felony, using his administrative coaching authority to conduct his own investigation to cover up the possible felony that is unfair and unjust to all students in the district. The district law enforcement should also be investigated as accomplice along with district administrators for watering down their investigations. For example, my son was a victim of a coach bullying him for showing fear in football and had him do Oklahoma tackling drills in a half shell, not once, not twice, but over 10 times until my son couldn't stand up, causing him concussion he is still trying to recover from. When the report was made to LFCISD police, they interviewed 4 witnesses and called me to say that there was no case. There were several coaches who stood by while the coach organized a beating for my son. Numerous athletes, 30-plus kids, who were present, but they made their conclusion after 4 student witnesses' statements. I had to reach out to the district attorney's office to please investigate because LFCISD police was incapable of conducting a proper investigation. The oversight of administration and LFCISD police to address the issues of administrator bullying and abuse of power to our students is a reflection of the district's values and morals. Students expect educators like yourselves and me to protect them. Victims are not known for speaking out. That is why board members, administrators, you are expected to and appointed to make the tough decisions to ensure that our students, all of them, not just the good ones, the happy ones, not the elite athletes, but all of them, are emotionally and physically safe to experience positive learning experiences. As board members, are you saying that emotional abuse does not require the same response as physical abuse? If not, how many students will continue to be bullied by coaches in your district? How many personal favors can an administrator ask for on behalf of his daughter before the school board will take action? Our children are not weak for quitting a team due to a coach's bullying. Our children are educated, future global citizens
who are capable of performing at high levels without emotional abuse. Your unification to protect educators and not students leaves students in our district vulnerable to abuse. As a taxpayer, and several taxpayers whose I've had signatures for, we are asking you not to protect the coaches that that verbally abuse our children, or their abuse of power, but that you keep your campaigns and protect the students, the victims. If you don't know who the victims are, please investigate. Don't just sit back and hear the rumors. Investigate thoroughly, and not for convenience of protecting your educators and friends, but to protect your taxpayers' children, their future leaders of tomorrow. What will they repeat what they have learned? Thank you for your time.
Item 9, action items. Number 1, discuss and take action to approve minutes for meetings. This is an action item? Sorry. Discuss and take action to approve minutes for meetings held on February 11th, 2019. Do I have a motion? Garcia.
I move to approve the minutes for the meeting held on February 11th, 2019.
So a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Mr. Trevino, second. We have a motion to take action to approve minutes for meeting held on February 11th, 2019. Discussion? Having no discussion, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand, please. Motion passes unanimous. Excuse me. 6-0. Number 2, discuss and take action to approve budget item number 7 for fiscal year 2019. Do I have a motion? Mr. Amaya?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve budget amendment number 7 for fiscal year 2019.
We have a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Castillo, we have a motion and a second to approve budget amendment number 7 for fiscal year 2019. Discussion? Having no discussion on motion, all those in favor indicate by raising your right hand, please. Unanimous, 6-0. Item 3, discuss and take action to approve ad valorem tax refunds for the month of February 2019. Do I have a motion, please? Mr. Trevino?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we approve the ad valorem tax refunds for the month of February 2019.
I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Mr. Quintero? We have a motion and a second to approve ad valorem tax refunds for the month of February 2019. Discussion? Having no discussion, we have a motion and a second. So all those in favor for the motion indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes 6-0, unanimous. Item 4, discuss and take action to approve agreements, contracts with professional service providers, real estate appraisers. Do I have a motion? Ms. Garcia?
I move to approve the agreement and contracts with professional service providers for real estate appraisers.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Mr. Castillo? We have a motion and a second to approve agreement contract with professional service providers, real estate appraisers. Discussion. Having no discussion, we have a motion and a second. So all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your hand. Motion's unanimous, 6-0. Number 5. Discuss and take action to approve agreements, contracts for 2019 HVAC replacements at Los Cernos High School to TASB by board vendor Train US Incorporated. Do I have a motion? Mr. Trevino. I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Mr. Castillo. We have a motion and a second to approve agreements contracts for 2019 HVAC replacements at Los Frenos High School to PASB by Board Vendor Train US Incorporated. Is there discussion? Having no discussion, we'll have a motion to approve. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion is unanimous, 6-0. Item 6, discuss and possible action to adopt resolution and authorize administration to enter into an MOU to contribute to a grant for AMI Kids Rio Grande Valley for the refurbishment, is that right? Refurbishment of facilities where students and employees of Los Frenos CISD provide educational services. Is there a motion? Ms. Garcia. We have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Mr. Amaya, we have a motion and a second to discuss possible action to adopt resolution and authorize administration to enter into an MOU to contribute to a grant for AMI Kids Rio Grande Valley for the refurbishment of facilities where students and employees of Los Frenos CISD provide educational service. Discussion. Ms. Garcia.
Can I didn't read my motion. Can I read my motion? Just so that I can be more specific.
Nobody heard. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I move that the Board of Trustees authorize the superintendent to enter into a memorandum of understanding with AMI Kids Rio Grande Valley, or Rio Grande, and to contribute $11,000 and no cents toward the matching grant, provided that the monies are used for refurbishment of classrooms and other facilities where the teachers and students receive educational related services in compliance with federal and state law, including CFR 200 EDGAR requirements, and to execute documents necessary for this endeavor. I just wanted to be real specific.
We're okay with this amended motion, correct? Okay. All right. I'm going to repeat everything she said. I'm messing with you, Elizabeth. We revised the motion, and it's an amended motion. Is there a second? Mr. Trevino. Okay. We have a motion and a second on a motion that Ms. Garcia provided for us. Any discussion? Having no discussion, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes unanimous, 6-0. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Number 7, discuss and take action to approve the 2019 proclamation textbook adoption recommendations for areas of 1, English language arts and reading, and 2, personal financial literacy. I'm running out of English here, okay. Do I have a motion for that, please? Mr. Amaya?
Let me take a stab at it here, Mr. Chairman. I move that we approve the 2019 proclamation textbook adoption recommendations for the areas of English language arts and reading and personal financial literacy.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Trevino. We have a motion and a second on this proclamation. Any discussion? Having no discussion on motion and second. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes unanimous, 6-0. Number 8, discuss and take action to approve the annual instructional materials allotment and TEKS certification for the 2019-2020 school year. Do I have a motion? Mr. Castillo. We have a motion to approve. Okay. We have a motion to approve instructional materials allotment and TEKS certification. Is there a second? Ms. Quintero. Motion and a second. Discussion. With no discussion, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes unanimous, 6-0. Number 9, discuss and take action to approve revisions to policy CLC, local, and adoption of policy EMG local, first reading. Do I have a motion? Mr. Trevino.
Yes, Mr. Garza. I move that we approve the revision to policy CLC local and adoption of the policy EMG local, first reading.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Ms. Garcia. We have a motion and a second on the floor to approve revisions policy CLC local and adoption of policy EMG local, first reading. Discussion. No discussion. We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes unanimous, 6-0. Item 10, discuss and take action to ratify and submit facility agreement between the American Red Cross and Los Fresnos CISD for the use of old shipping and receiving warehouse. Is there a motion? Mr. Amaya.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we ratify and submit facility agreement between the American Red Cross and the Federal CISD for the use of the old shipping and receiving warehouse. Is that the old gym on Highway 100?
Yes, that's the gym.
Should always be known as the old gym.
Yeah, who named it the old shipping? And it's not old. It's the basketball court, okay?
You know, you're really getting old when the old gym becomes something else that's already old.
You think you can get serious here, please?
I apologize.
Okay, we have a motion to submit facility. Do I have a second? Ms. Quintero. We have a motion and a second to submit agreement between the American Red Cross and Los Fresnos CISD for the use of the old shipping and receiving warehouse. We got to stay with what is written here. Discussion. No discussion. I have no discussion. We have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. The motion passes unanimous, 6-0. Number 11, discuss and take action to approve out-of-state student travel. A, Los Fresnos High School, DECA, D-E-C-A, DECA, to Orlando, Florida, April 26th through May 1st, 2019. Is there a motion? Mr. Trevino.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve out-of-state travel, student travel to the Los Fresnos High School DECA program to Orlando, Florida, April 26th through May 1st, 2019.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Ms. Quintero. We have a motion and a second to approve out-of-state travel for Los Fresnos DECA to Orlando. Discussion. Having no discussion, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes unanimous. Number 12, discuss and take action to approve the superintendent. In grade school, they always would tell me, when you get in front of people, don't run out of English, and I'm there. Okay. 12, discuss and take action to approve the superintendent's personnel recommendations for the following positions for the 2019-2020 school year. A, accountant. B, registered nurse. Sorry. That's bad. Registered nurse. You know I want to go to hell. You know that? Okay. Let me read that again. Sorry, Elizabeth. You're giving me the look like... Okay, number 12. Discuss and take action to approve the superintendent's personnel recommendations for the following positions for the 2019-2020 school year. A, accountant. B, registered nurse. Do I have a motion? Mr. Castillo.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's personnel recommendations. A, accountant. B, registered nurse.
First, I'd like to make a correction. The item...
It's not nurse?
No, it is nurse.
Oh, okay.
2019-2020 school year is a typo. Amend that if possible, Elizabeth. It's for the 2018-2019 school year. Yes. So, just want to enter into the record that the hiring is for the current school year, And so we apologize for that error. That's an oversight on my part.
Thank you. You want to amend that motion, please?
Make a motion to approve superintendent's personnel recommendations for the following positions for the 2018-2019 school year. A, accountant, B, registered nurse.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Mr. Trevino. We have a motion and second to approve superintendent's personnel. Discussion. Having no discussion, we have a motion to approve. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, please. Motion passes unanimous. Or any of these employees in the, please stand and be recognized. Well, welcome aboard. Now, the administration is not like us. They're pretty organized, okay? And they're pretty professional. But thank you for coming on board with us. Okay. Going on to closed session. Item 10, we're going to go into closed session pursuant to section 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. We're going to be discussing 2 real estate matters, 3 consideration of appointment of investigator. So at this it is it's 7:32. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. We're back into open session. We'll go to, we don't have to take any action on the real estate, do we? No, nothing there, right? We pretty much discussed that. Let's go to item 3, consideration and possible action of appointment of DIA investigator for employee investigation. Do I have a motion? Mr. Maya.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board appoint Ms. Ada Amado to investigate the DIA complaint discussed in executive session.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Ms. Garcia. Motion and a second to appoint Ms. Amado for this to be the investigator. Discussion. No discussion. We have a motion. Yes, sir.
Ask a question.
Does he need to turn in his keys, sir? No? Okay, go ahead.
I can't.
Go ahead.
Just to the superintendent, Ms. Amado has been trained in these types of investigations? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. No, any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your right hand, please. Motion passes unanimous. Item 12, announcements.
Mr. Garza and members of the board, tomorrow we start our high school transition meetings, beginning at Los Cuates Middle School and continuing at Liberty Memorial Middle School on Thursday. These are high school transition meetings for parents and students in the 8th grade. The meetings will be presented by our LFU principal, Mrs. Jenny Stumble, and they start at 6 o'clock sharp. On Friday, we have an art expo at the Los Fresnos United Cafeteria that starts at 5:30. Come and enjoy some student artwork that will be on display at that time. On Monday, we have Ballet Nepantla at Los Fresnos High School Cafeteria. Ballet Nepantla, they're going to be presenting La Valentina. It is a ballet group starting their Texas tour in the Rio Grande Valley. They're coming out of New York City. 6 p.m. Tickets are $5, $7 at the door. You can get them at campuses or at the DSC. I would encourage you to make that a date night. Come out and enjoy Ballet Nepantla. Our folklorico students are going to open Monday. It's on our website if you forget. It's on the banners on our website. That's at 6 p.m. Monday at Los Fresnos High School Cafeteria. And those are all the announcements we have at this time.
Any other announcements? Then it's 8:05, we're adjourned.